Thank you for coming to my, I even got a notice that it's recording. First meeting, thank you all for the opportunity to be chair. Let's see how this goes, but we've got all of our members here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So thanks for coming, everybody. Before we jump into it, we should then jump to item, I don't need to do roll call since I see everybody. Should I always do roll call?
You certainly could do a roll call. Yeah, I think that might be wise.
All right.
You should always do a roll call.
Great. Okay. Thanks, guys. Again, this will be a little bumpy ride for those that are calling in, but it's my first go at this. So obviously I'm here. Noel.
Present.
Perfect. We got Don Carlson.
Here.
Thanks, buddy. Jim Hutchinson.
Here.
And back into the fray again. Tom Hoy. What's up, buddy?
Here.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Perfect. So we'll start with the question. Has anybody been out? Well, first the question is, anybody need to abstain based on the 3 that we have on the agenda?
No.
Nope. Okay, good. Thank you. Has anybody spoken to anybody around any of these variances?
No.
Has anybody been out to visit any of the properties in person?
No.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So then the next thing on the list is we need to approve the agenda for tonight. So a motion is in order.
So moved.
Thank you, Noel.
Second.
Thank you, Tom. Okay. And there's no adjustments upon that, no discussion. So we'll take up a vote. All those in favor of approving the agenda? Aye.
Aye.
Nice. We're done with C. We're on to D. Good. All right. So the minutes from last meeting. Is there any questions, concerns, changes, comments on the minutes? Great, I see that. So motion is in order for approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Don, for the motion. Thank you, Tom, for the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nay? Any nay? I didn't see any nays. Cool, we'll move forward. Okay, so on to our normal business. We will jump in. First thing before we move forward, we should have a motion to open the floor for discussion for the participants, and then we'll close it at the end of the meeting if that's okay with everybody.
So moved.
Thank you. Was that Tom? Noel?
Yep.
Noel, and then
second.
Tom. Thank you, Tom. Second. Perfect. So all those in favor of opening the floor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Okay. So floor is open for discussion. We'll close it if we need to, or at the end of the meeting. So let's jump into regular business number 1. For those that are on the call, just a bit overview. Kind of what we do is we go through the different items. Paul Newmeyer from the city is here to tee it up. So he'll basically give us an overview of what it is we're discussing, why we're discussing it, what the variance that's being requested is. I'm not necessarily here for city input unless the board asks for it, but just more of a context of what it is we're talking about. And then what we'll do is have the applicants present their case, and we'll ask if there's anybody here for or against that variance. And then what we'll do is we'll thank everybody for comments, and the board will discuss and we'll make a vote. Majority wins in this situation. So in this case, a 3-2 vote gets the variance approved, and you can move forward and work with the city to get that done. A 2-3 vote means it's not going to happen, and back to the drawing board. Okay. All right, so we will start with number 1, Jim Anderson basement repair on behalf of Michelle. Ooh, this is where you are going to be significantly better, Don, is the names. My California brain isn't going to be so good at some of these Midwest names. Anyway, at 508 Victoria Street. Are you on the call? Okay. And if you are, unmute and jump on. Anybody on the call here for that?
Doesn't look like it.
So in that case, Don.
I'm the neighbor.
Neighbor, okay, thank you for being here. In that case, Don, do we normally move forward without an applicant here to present? Or do we punt and leave it to the end to give them time to log on?
Or table it for the next time.
Yeah, I think we can go to the next one and hope that somebody shows up.
Okay,
I think, Paul, as I recall, we can actually make a judgment if we'd like without without any input from anyone here, but we may want to think about that.
I'd
And
like to
certainly-
push it if that's okay,
Yeah, I'd prefer to hear from the petitioner before making a decision.
because we approved the agenda. Do we need to have a motion and approval to move that to number 3, or we can just do that?
Yeah.
I think you can just hold it pretty much.
Okay.
But I don't know that so the next two on the agenda are the same applicant, and I don't know that they are here either.
So we just have the neighbor Madison. Is that and forgive me, is that a city staff member?
Yes.
Okay.
And we had the neighbor for the first item.
Yeah,
Well, maybe we could take their feedback on item 1 and just remember it when we have the petitioner in front of us so that they don't have to be maybe on multiple calls.
sure. Yeah. Thank you, Madison, City of Green Bay. I see that change there. Thank you. All right, well, let's go back to 1 then, and let's go ahead and hear from the neighbor. Neighbor, if you could state your name. Do we need address, Jessica, as well? Name and address?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so let's, neighbor, if you could speak your name and your address, and then your thoughts on this this proposal.
Okay, it's Bradley Bushy, Bouche, 512 Victoria.
Okay, so Paul,
Um,
this is basically
so
an egress window for this applicant here. Should we just hear from the comments without teeing it up?
Yeah.
It's only up to you.
So, yeah, so it just says egress window, but it doesn't state the location of the egress window.
Right. It would be in the front of the home, just left of the garage door. I can bring it up real quick, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
He's on the
Yeah,
phone.
I'm on the
Right.
phone, so,
Right.
yeah, so that's already in. So, I don't have a problem with it if that's the spot that it's going, because I would just be worried about it between my driveway and the side of their house, as there's just a couple feet. So if it's in the spot that it's already located, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, they're just retroactively seeking approval because they didn't get it approved at the front end.
Yeah, I have no problem.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
okay.
Great. Thank
Good
you
to
for the
know.
comments. Feel free to stay on the call if you'd like, or you can jump off. We'll note your comments. All right, I will
Yeah,
open this up.
I'm gonna get off the call. Sorry, excuse me, one more thing. I'm gonna get off the call, but if something else changes, if they get on, can I get a notification?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks, Don. Okay, boys, I will take your guys' thoughts here. What are we thinking we want to do here?
Well, we're almost 10 minutes into the start of the meeting. I'm almost ready to table the entire 3 items and end the call.
Oh, and just like that, we have Mr. Leroy from Mallon Associates jumping on, I think. So we can go over at least the following 2. Yep, there he is. Hello, Mr. Leroy. You made it. You made it by like a 2-minute window here. We were talking about punting, so that's good. Thanks
I
for being on.
apologize.
No worries. It's all good.
I was queuing up my motion to table everything, so.
Yeah, you are. So thanks for coming.
At least I'm feeling good about it. I didn't wasn't considering a motion to just reject all the appeals because of the lack of petitioners, so.
Yeah, that's what Noel does. You gotta be on your toes.
Let's go. All
He's
right.
not wearing a
so
status suit.
do we want to start? We'll start with Paul. We'll start with the second item first. If you want to go over that, item number 2.
Sure, yeah. Let me just bring that up quick. You talk about the property at 1640 West Mason Street?
That one, I think they're both the exact same address being listed. They're both kind of developments at the front, I believe, of the Mason Street there.
Yep,
I think
these are
old
kind of,
Toys R Us, right?
yep, these are sister developments, West Mason Street, 1640, right in front of the Planet Fitness building, not far from Michael's. The proposal is, again, a kind of sister developments, where one side, the east side would be the Arby's, the west side would be a Scooters. These are zone C1. These are commercial areas. Both of these will need conditional use permits, but what's before you tonight is a variance for the FAR, the FAR calculation. And again, that's the relationship of the building size to the lot area. And both of these are under that minimum standard of 0.1 that are required. This is a new development, of course. There are some land divisions that'll be going on here, creating lot 2 and lot 3. Lot 2 is the location of the future Scooters. Lot 3 is the Arby's site. So again, what's being proposed is a variance for the FAR to be under that 0.1 FAR calculation.
They're currently just like surface lot right now, aren't they?
Yep, I'm sorry. I had a few more, maybe another picture here. Right, so this is a Google Street View of what's out there currently. It's just basically a parking lot. So these are what we call outlots, basically, to the major commercial anchors that are there. So they are currently on one parcel, but they're proposed to be on 2 separate parcels. They will have separate addresses. So that's the reason we've treated them as 2 separate requests tonight.
And is the need for the conditional use dependent on the board's approval of this, or is it just horse cart?
I think they're independent. I think they're strictly looking at the building itself. The drive-through, the nature of that is handled by the Plan Commission. So I think they're independent things.
Okay. All right. Well, is there any questions before we have Mr. Leroy present his case? All right, Mr. Leroy.
Good evening. Do we want to look at this as a case by case as far as Arby's and then Scooters, or just want to approach this appropriately?
I'm okay
They're
with.
both say that again, Noel?
I said I'm okay with discussing them together and then just taking action on them separately.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, I agree.
Appreciate it. So with the developments of both of these fast food chains right here, when it came down to the shape and form of the area, you'll note West Mason Street on the south. You'll note to the east there the extension of Mitchell. On the north side would be the existing drive lane that connects all the way from Goodwill over to this site, back towards Cellcom and North Shore Bank, back over towards BP, and connects back around then to the businesses of our military. Finally, the drive entrance that comes off of Goodwill. So essentially, the land area has been formed by those 4 hemmed in existing drive lanes for the properties. So with both intact, the dimensions of the site came to where they're at. Now, when it comes to the actual sizes of the buildings themselves, these are still, we've experienced buildings like this before. I'll start with the Arby's. This is approximately a 2,600 square foot building. Might recall in the recent past year over on Main Street, a new build out there, also required an FAR out there. The size of that building was about 1,800 square feet. So this is about 800 square feet larger than that building. And this is what Arby's and the folks from H.A. Martin felt was the best appropriate to go ahead and meet all the needs without creating another variance for green space or parking or things of that sort, or to go ahead and mess with the safety of the existing traffic lanes that occur on the 4 sides of the property. Same would go then for Scooters with the separation. Scooters, this is actually a larger size than the existing one over on East Mason, not by much, still the same format that they have out there, where it's a drive-through based only. But to try to go ahead and reach the arbitrary number to make it larger, we feel like the size and form of this meets what the rest of the existing block has throughout the site, throughout the West Mason frontage corridor out there. And that's the size of the buildings that come out to be to meet the market needs right now.
Okay. Board members, any questions on discussion points, questions for the applicant? Is there anybody?
I-
Oh, go ahead, Jim, go ahead.
I got a question. So what is this ratio we're talking about? The square footage of the building and the compared to the square footage of the lot?
Right, so it's the floor area of the building, just the building. It doesn't include pavement or anything like that. So it's that area divided by the lot size.
Okay, and that has
Floor
to
area
be,
ratio,
that ratio is 1 or more?
0.1.
0.1. So what does that mean? 10% or does that mean 0.1%?
10%, generally speaking, right?
10%. So generally, we want the buildings to be 10% of the lot area or larger.
That's correct, right?
And then there's a
Okay.
maximum too.
A maximum of 2? Okay.
No, there's
No.
also, Paul, what's the maximum floor area ratio?
Oh,
I don't know if there's a maximum in this case, but there's other dimensional issues that would limit the height and lot coverage and stuff like that. So this is like really the floor, I guess, we're trying to establish for commercial buildings.
And in terms of the philosophy underlying that as a zoning practitioner, what's behind that, Paul?
I think it's part and parcel, maybe tax base. I mean, it's creating substantially sized buildings that are functional. That's not to say that this will not be functional or taxable. It's just, I think we like to see larger developments put together on one lot. In this case, they're going to be on separate lots.
once the lots are divided, is this ratio going to change or is there one big lot they're being divided by?
Well, I think it's an anticipation of that. So we have a certified survey map into our office for that land division. It has not been completed, I don't believe. So this is in line with the proposed development and the future lot lines, basically. Anticipation of that.
Okay, so even when the lot's subdivided and these buildings are on smaller lots, they still don't meet the 0.1.
Correct, right.
Okay, I see.
And
So we
So
know-
if they were not divided and they remained on their parent parcel with their anchor uses, so to speak, like a Planet Fitness or Michael's, we wouldn't be having the discussion, so to speak.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
I know.
And I think, I think I get the minimum floor area ratio. You want to have, if you're going to have a productive property, you want to see a building on it that's substantial enough that it's consuming at least 10% of the land area, and that's why you're creating this ratio. At 0.07, it's pretty close to 0.1. And I think one of the things is that ratio might not reflect the auto-dependent nature of these uses here, right? I mean, we've got double width drive-through lane requirements and a whole bunch of other things that are required on these types of properties with drive-throughs, and then you've got the parking in addition to it. It's not, I think, just a matter of what the developer's wanting to do. I think it's also a matter of if they're going to comply on the other fronts, right? I think, John, you were saying that if you arbitrarily added to the building dimension, then you're going to have a variance in some other area that's required because now you've pinched the parking or the drive lane or something else. So,
Correct.
I mean, it's one of those things where I think it's reasonable for a municipality to set that bar and say, this is what we want. But I think there's a degree of, where that's arbitrary as well, I think, in terms of, does it work in every circumstance? And I think certainly in some auto-dependent drive-through heavy sorts of applications, maybe it doesn't.
I think to a degree too, we're becoming more and more a drive-through nation as opposed to a stop in and dine one.
Right. Especially after the period we're going through right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree too. I think you've said it well, Noel. The goal here with that kind of floor area ratio is to have proper development of that site. And I think that if we were to reject this variance request and hope that that site gets developed with something closer to an FAR of 0.1, we're whistling up the creek. I think that this is a good way to develop those two lots. It's right along the street, and it preserves the business behind it. All around, this is good, and it's a good application of the variance process.
Yeah, and you've got, I mean, from a traffic standpoint, as somebody who's used that existing Hardee's near that location, you know, anybody who's ever tried to leave the drive-through and turn left can tell you it's a nightmare. So being able to drain out onto the, you know, the traffic pattern in that commercial development and get to a signalized intersection to go either left or right after you've got your, you know, your jalapeno lights or your half-pound roast beef sandwich, for example. Those would be, you know, that would be easier to use there. And also looking at the traffic that loads up at the Starbucks nearby. I mean, there might also be, maybe they split the customers or something, and we end up with maybe slightly less snarls related to the drive-throughs. So I think overall this is a useful add to that commercial space, and I think the framework with the road access and everything like that is probably pretty useful. And I don't see, when I look at those overhead plans, a development to me that looks like that it's underdeveloped, which is, you know, what a you know, below minimum floor area ratio would seem to indicate, because there's all the traffic pattern and the drive-throughs and the other things there. So I think I would support both of these variance requests.
Thank you, Noel. Before we get to that, I should have asked, is there anybody on the call that is for or against an alderman or a community member that wants to speak on this?
Staff, Jessica.
Okay, hearing
see
none,
anyone,
then
yeah.
yeah, I will also point out, Mr. Leroy, well done on your application. I think that's worth note, man. I love always jumping to the 3-step test question, because ultimately that's what we should be using. And I felt that both responses were to the point of exactly what we should be considering. So I would like to highlight the thoroughness in your application. It's a lot of time you put in there, and thank you for that.
Appreciate that.
Are we ready to have a motion then, gentlemen? And we'll take 2 motions and 2 votes on this. So we'll start with the item 2, which I believe would be the Arby's location. Thank you, Jessica, for the thumbs up. She does that well.
Yeah.
Okay, so to Arby's number 2, do we have a motion and a second?
Don, you should
Regarding the first one, I'll make a motion that we approve that variance.
second.
Okay, and okay, so we got a motion by Don and a second by Noel. Thank you. So any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, all those opposed? Hearing none, the variance carries. So that's item 2. We'll jump to item 3, which is the scooter location next door on the west side. Do I have a motion and a second for that one?
I would move approval as requested.
Okay,
I'll second it.
second by, I'll give it to Jim this time. All right, so a motion by Noel and a second by Jim. I'll get you next time, Tom. Any other discussion, comments, concerns before we vote? All right, so all those in favor for approval of the variance, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, the the variance is approved. I guess the motion is carried and the variance is approved is correct. Okay, great. We are done with those 2. Mr. Leroy, it's always good to see you. Thank you again.
Thank you
I
very
will
much.
say it one more time, the thoroughness on the application. It was a lot of time spent, so we appreciate that. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yep. All right, then gentlemen, I will kick it back to you. Do we want to consider this item 1 with no comments from the applicant, or do we want to punt to next month? I'll leave it up to you guys.
I'm fine with punting.
Anybody else have any problems with us moving it to next month so we can hear from the applicant? Paul, if we do that, is there another email sent out saying, hey, we missed you at the meeting. We'd love to consider this with your comments?
Yeah, I think we'd go back. Jesse can confirm, but I think we're gonna go back and notice again, just like we did for this meeting.
Yeah, and if they don't come next month, we can just keep punting, because this is
Well-
more of an infraction, right? Versus so we do need to take action at some point if it's something that's already done.
Right, right. Yeah, I guess it depends how long you want to delay it. I mean, you can give them a little time here certainly, but it's only up to the board at what point you have to make a decision.
Okay, do we want to hear, since we've moved fairly fast and we're all here, gentlemen, do we want to at least hear what this is so we can consider where we're at within this and then make the decision, or let's just kill it right now and move it to next month?
Yeah, I kind of figured it out reading through it. I don't need to go through it again, I think.
So
Yeah,
you
I'm
still,
okay.
and in that sense, you still want to
Yeah, but
punt?
I still think we should, I just think as a matter of
Principle.
practice, we should try and listen to the petitioner. If they don't show up next month, then I might, have a different perspective on it, but I think we should give them a shot. Even if they miss
Okay.
tonight, they could be mashing keys on their keyboard right now, trying to get into Zoom or something and have a
For
problem.
Christmas
Right.
shopping,
We don't know. I think we should give
Yeah.
them another shot.
Absolutely, I agree.
Oh, okay, so looks like we're in agreement, so I'll take a motion for that to move it and delay it to next meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Don. Second?
I second.
Nice, Tom, you're in there. Very good. All right, we'll take a quick vote. All those in favor, say aye for
Aye.
moving this.
Aye.
Tabling.
All right, perfect. We'll table this for next
Yeah,
month.
tabling.
Thank you, everybody. So then we will motion to close the room for discussion.
Move, we close the floor.
Second.
Thank you, Noel. Second, Dawn. Thank you. So we'll take a quick vote on that. All those who approve that, say aye.
Aye.
Great. Nay. Nice. Okay, good. Look at us. We're so fast. All right. So adjournment. We are here. Next meeting, January 17th. Does anybody see any issues with not being able to attend that as of right now? Are we all queued up? Got that on our calendars? Great.
Sure.
And I don't have any procedural items right now. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to talk about for this month?
Anything pop up, Paul, that we need to know about?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
I will.
Greg is officially out of Green Bay, so he's not a part of us anymore.
Nice. And do we have any, I mean, not nice. Let's say nice. That's horrible. Meaning, good for him. That's
Yep.
what I meant. Not nice. See you later. No. Okay. And then do we have any line of sight on an alternate that's being queued up for our board, Paul?
Not at this point, no. Usually we reach out to the mayor's office. It's a mayor's appointment, so we'll kind of coordinate with them and see if there's someone in the bullpen or someone who can come online and help out, sure.
Okay. There was someone that I ran into last year at the State of the District here in the Broadway district that told me they were joining our board, but then I never saw them.
They might have gotten redirected to another board. I mean, certainly if you know of somebody, pass the word along, but we usually consult with the mayor's office on those types of things.
Okay, great. I will plant this seed, not for today, obviously it's the holidays and we've all got lots of things going on, but I do want to talk to everybody. It doesn't need to be a long-winded thing, but at the end of one of these meetings, I still have this indirect goal of getting the aldermen more involved with what it is we do, whether that's setting up a thing where we go and we present, 5 minutes before the city council to say, hey, this is who we are, especially, pending some of the things that we had to deal with last year that got a little, dicey. I still think there's a lot of work we can do as a board to, one, make sure people know what we're doing, and then also get a lot more alderman input so that we have a better feedback loop in terms of if we're seeing the same things over. We talked about exactly something that I think the city council should be considering tonight, is that we are, as a society, moving away from dine-in areas. And you're seeing this in bigger cities where, smaller footprint restaurants are going up. And if that means they need to change the way, lots are taxed, all this stuff, it has nothing to do with us. But this is where we should be giving that feedback to those alders. So they, as a city council, should be considering the future of Green Bay as developers come in and try and do stuff and they run into roadblocks. And I just think that feedback loop can be significantly more improved. So I'd love at another time to schedule out some time to just discuss that, how we want to approach that as a group here. It could be a lunch thing. I don't know. Depends on what we think, but I think that's really important for what we're trying to do.
Agreed.
Sounds like a good idea.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else anybody has?
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Before
Don has
that-
something.
Before that, I
Tom?
want to say, Mr. Chairman, you did a bang up job. Good job.
Oh, there you
Thanks.
go.
I learned from the best, the master
No.
himself.
You
I
got a
did.
knack, Tommy.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it, guys. And again, thanks for the opportunity. And we'll keep working on this. So happy holidays, everybody. And
Can
we'll see
we get a motion to adjourn?
So
Oh,
moved.
yeah, good one.
Good
Second.
job, Jess.
you.
You
The
almost
meeting's just
didn't
going to keep
shut it.
recording for the whole holiday season. So let's take a motion to adjourn. Who said so moved? Noel?
Yep.
And seconded?
I seconded.
Don. Thank you, Jessica, for that reminder. I was doing so good.
Oh,
until
no
the end.
problem. You did well. You did very well.
Yeah, and thanks for jumping on. It's always good to hear your voice.
I like to hide, so.
Yeah, you get the little thumbs up thing going all the time there. So, all right, gentlemen.